a couple of years down the road, you are leaving a, to be honest with you, kind of an emotionally fraught gig.
Okay.
You were hired to do stand up at like a private party.
Hmm.
Okay, it was at this jet black mansion at the top of the highest hill in Austin.
Wow.
The locals call it
Okay.
El Casa de Diablo.
Wow, the House of the Devil. Okay. Now we're talking.
Yeah, I mean that's what it means. I mean I don't speak Spanish, so
Okay.
you you what it was is it was like a high school reunion, a
Oh.
20-year high school reunion. And what they did is everyone dressed up like they did in high school.
Mm.
So if you were goth in high school and you're at this party, you're gonna be, dressed like a goth.
Okay.
If yeah, if you wore a lot of like if you famously wore a lot of basketball jerseys at school or whatever, same deal.
Okay.
They don't make that clear to you, so you just show up dressed like, whatever.
Yeah.
But the reason that it's such a emotionally fraught gig is that uh, the nostalgia of the evening turned into like, grievances at a certain point
Mm.
where people were starting to remember, all the different ways that they had loved each other over the years, betrayed each other over the years, all these different emotions. So it's not even like people are mad. It's a very like people are like on edge, and there are a lot of people fighting back tears.
Am I included in that?
No, you're just doing your act. Like
Okay.
it's to be honest with you, it is a nightmare of a gig.
Yeah.
But they pay you $4,000 and
Oh,
you get a $100 gift card to the Darden Family Restaurant Group.
Darden family.
Mm.
Is that real?
Yeah, so they own like Olive Garden. They used to own Red Lobster. To be honest, the relationship with one another isn't quite clear because you used to be able to use Darden Family Restaurant Group cards at Red Lobster, but they're not officially together anymore. It's confusing,
Okay.
but they own many quality, reasonably priced restaurants.
That's it. I've always said about Olive Garden. High quality, affordable.
A few years down the road, Olive Garden has this new uh, like program thing that they're running that summer. It's called I fucking love Italy. And what it is you sit down at the Olive Garden, and when the waiter is like, "Oh, you ready to order?" You look up and you go, "Yeah, I fucking love Italy." They write something down on their pad, and you get a 5-course meal of Italian delicacies.
Wow.
Yeah. So you are looking forward to looking that cocky son of a bitch right in his eye and saying, "I fucking love Italy," and whipping out that gift card.
Do they blow an air horn when you say it?
They do, and it is the loudest air horn you've ever heard in your fucking life.
Oh yeah.
For a second, you feel like you can hear the voice of God for just a second. Sounds Asian.
Okay.
So you're leaving this gig and you're like, that was fucking weird.
Yeah.
And you look down, you see what time it is, and you're like, oh shit, I only have like a few minutes. So you like race downtown because you are in the middle of what you are calling your creative renaissance.
Okay.
It is not through stand-up comedy. You're still doing stand-up comedy, but the big thing with you right now is magic.
Oh, I'm a magician on
You're
the
a
side.
fucking magician, dude.
Okay. Stand-up's paying the bills. Passion project magic.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And yeah, and you actually finally were able to like quit all of your day jobs that you've got going or whatever. You won a lawsuit.
Hell yeah. What was the lawsuit?
You were at a laser tag and you slipped on a banana peel and
Oh,
you fell 7 stories.
wow.
Yeah. And the weirdest thing happened when you landed. You have no explanation for why this is. Maybe it's a miracle, maybe it's just some kind of freak science thing. Nothing hurt at all.
Hmm.
But everybody just kind of assumed it did and you just went along with it. So like you ended up getting a $250,000 settlement from the this is this mom and pop laser tag company. They're actually the first laser tag in Austin. It was like a historical laser tag site.
Okay.
They go under.
Because of my lawsuit?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Wow,
called yeah,
tragedy.
it was called the Super Fun Zone. And
Yeah.
the article that they wrote about it, the headline says uh, the night they drove the fun zone to the ground. It's just like a picture of
Wow.
you.
Great headline.
Yeah. And so you're doing okay, like cash
Wait, what
wise.
about
So
the fun? Wait, what about the fun zone is now the done zone? They're done.
that's actually like underneath it. There's a
Oh,
quote and it says "Fun Zone more like the Done Zone," and it's attributed to you, Cat Swanner.
thank God they gave me credit for that. Okay.
Yeah, they just like overheard. Like that wasn't your official statement. You just were like calling somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
So like nothing changes or anything. The people are just kind of like, all right, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So you after that happened, you were like, okay, what am I really passionate about right now? Stand-up comedy, yes, but lately you feel like you've just been like driven towards magic.
Mm-hmm.
You've been having these like dreams where you feel like there's forces out there that like you don't understand yet, but maybe one day you can. Sometimes you feel like you can predict the weather.
Mm.
You can't. You're just guessing on the weather thing. The first thing, absolutely. The
Just a
weather,
feeling.
yeah, the weather thing, you're just like, okay, it's going to be 64 degrees tomorrow. And every once in a while, you're just bound to be right. So,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
whenever you do, you just like go on Instagram and you like do a screenshot of it and you're just like, called it.
Yeah. Totally.
So you feel like you're being almost called towards magic.
Mm.
And you you learn about this guy. He's this old school magician from back in the day. Kind of legendary, you find out after you do some research about him. It turns out he's been a fairly influential magician. He didn't invent pulling a rabbit out of a hat, but he made it popular.
Okay. Got it.
Winston von Buerig's
Winston von what?
von Buerig's.
Okay.
But his stage name was Wally Smith.
Okay, I love that.
So now he's retired, and his thing is like, you know what? I got to give back to the magic community that's given me so
Mhm.
much. And
Mhm.
so you are studying with him, and he is like, after a few weeks of this, and you're learning how to do things like, how to pull the rabbit out of the hat, where that stuff, comes from in real life. Like they're showing you how to do the tricks. And he's like, look, I don't say this to anyone, but like I think you have like an aptitude for this. You're kind of like picking up on this very quickly.
Heard that before. Yeah.
Um, he's like, all right, so we have one more, not test, but one more thing to work on. He goes, how confident are you in your balloon animal abilities?
I'm not very confident.
He goes, he looks at you. He goes, that ends today. He puts you through the most labor intensive balloon animal training program that anyone has ever seen.
Wow.
But by the end of this 12-hour period, you can fucking make gold out of bullshit, my friend. To coin a phrase. I don't know if that's a real thing people
You
say.
can make gold out of piss, my guy.
So by the end of this period, he's like, "All right, I've taught you pretty much everything that I can teach you." And then he's like, he pulls out he's like, "And now here's your." He does this whole like ceremony where he gives you like a wand,
Hmm.
and he seems to pull it out of nowhere, and you're like, "Whoa!" Even
Yeah.
after all this time, you're still kind of amazed by magic.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you kind of like kneel down in front of him, and he like does the thing where he like touches both your shoulders, and then like,
Nice.
yeah, but he like bonks the top of your head a little bit. And he goes, I now dub you the great Catarini,
Ooh, spooky.
mystic mistress of the night.
Catarini mistress. Wait,
The mystic mistress of the night.
mystic
Yeah.
mistress of the night. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes, you can change it if you want.
Yeah, I probably will. Yeah.
So you have picked up on stage magic quicker than, you know, goddamn Henry Houdini,
Wow.
if you know what I'm saying.
Wasn't it Harry?
Yeah. So there's Harry Houdini, but so the whole thing is Henry Houdini is like the lesser known Houdini brother.
Okay.
Henry Houdini is he's the Houdini brother that just tried to do magic, but just wasn't really able to do it. He tried to do stage magic his whole entire life, and he always fucked it up. He would reach
Okay.
into a giant, hat or whatever, and instead of pulling out a rabbit, he would pull out like a goat's head that's like on fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so and he'd be like, "God damn it!"
So
And
I got it quicker than him.
yeah, so he picked up on how to do magic really, really quickly. He just doesn't really know how to do it well.
Okay.
Yeah, he picked it up really, really quick.
So it's more of an insult. Okay.
So the deal with Henry Houdini is that so he sucked at stage magic, however, and you feel like you haven't gotten the full story on this, A few years ago, there was like this interdimensional, like magical war type thing, and it turned out that Henry Houdini had one last trick inside him, and he like turned into like pure energy, and that's how they defeated the bad guys. You have no idea if any of this is true or anything. This
Yeah.
might just be bullshit, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it turned out that he had enough love inside his heart to save them all.
Mm, it's beautiful.
I guess. So you go home and you go to bed. You dream of a howling void, and you wake up. And you look over, and you had brought home with you some of those balloon animals that you had made, except these have like come to life.
Oh no.
What do you do?
Oh shoot. Um, I put them in my car and I take them to the zoo and I gift them to the zoo. And then the zoo names a gallery after me. And it's called the Katerina Mystic Mistress of the Night Hall for horses and zebras. So yeah.
You look down and like you see that they've like all like they're all pretty much horses and zebras. And so you go through with it and they fucking bite, man. They're like, holy shit, this is like the find of the year. And they end up, naming this whole thing after you. I mean, it takes like a really long time for them to do it. And when they do end up naming it after you, they spell it with a K instead of a C.
Oh, classic. God.
So you're like, what a weird fucking day. You go home and you walk on your front porch and suddenly you hear like this weird creak sound coming from like your left. And you look over and sitting in a rocking chair is this guy. He is wearing the reddest suit that you have ever seen in your fucking life. Redder than
It's Eddie
any.
Murphy.
Say again.
It's Eddie Murphy. Raw.
It makes Eddie Murphy from Raw's suit look like it is just bland and sucked free of any kind of color. That is how fucking red
Wow.
this man's head to toe suit is. He's got like long orange, like stringy hair. He's got like a clown nose.
Okay.
He goes, "Hello, cat. I'm the Sugar King." He goes, "Do you have a minute?" What do you say?
I say no. No, I don't. Get out of my home.
He stands up. He's like, "Okay, I can get going. It's just all I need is just one animal balloon from you. That's all I need. I'm out. Then I'm out of your hair."
Well, they all came to life, so I don't have them anymore.
But you look down and suddenly you're holding in your hands like a bunch of empty balloons.
Mm,
He goes, "Make one of a make a fly, please, and you will be rewarded."
hmm. I'm gonna say no.
He's like, "What if we gave you $2 million and a $150 gift card to the Darden Family Restaurant Group, including Red Lobster?"
I stand by my morals.
It's shrimp season.
I can't be bought. I can't be bought. this is my hobby. I don't want to make money from it because once I start making money from it, I stop loving it.
He nods. He's like, he goes, that's a really, really cool way of looking at it. He gets up, he like walks past you. He's like, have a good night. You see him get into a you see him get into like a red convertible. And when he turns it on, it's playing Fuel.
I don't know that. Fuel? What is that? Oh, did you say Tool?
No, Fuel. That they were playing the song Shimmer, and you're like, "What the fuck is that?" Drives away, and you're like, "All right, well, like whatever." You go inside, you close the door, and you're like, "Wow, what a crazy day." And then you turn around to like put up your jacket, and you see that your front door's on fire, and you're like, "What?" And then you go, "Huh, that's not good." You blink, and within a moment, your entire house is like covered in flames. But the flames smell like very, very sweet, almost like peppermint candy.
Hmm.
The last thing that you hear before you burn to death is the voice of the Sugar King saying, "You should have helped me, cat."
No. I thought I was being smart by saying no. You were trying
Yeah.
so hard to get me to say yes.
Yeah, you fucking died anyway.
Okay, well, there's no scenario where I would have lived. Is that right?
I mean, I'm not saying that.
Okay, well, I'm 0 for 2 now.